Specialists in killing and hunting, hunters of buffalo, giraffes, and all large prey, no creature can escape their deadly jaws and destructive ferocity. A coalition of the most terrifying and powerful lions whose reputation echoed for many years, proving their dominance over vast territories in Botswana, where they roamed day and night without fear of confronting the constant intruders of their resource-rich land. They are the Duba lions, the fiercest lions born in the Okavango Delta, whose early life stages remain largely unknown. But amid the conflicting information, one detail confirms the truth: the relentless strength they became famous for and maintained throughout their lives. Today, we dive into the history of the Duba Coalition, the exceptional hunters, to uncover how they became the most efficient buffalo hunters in history. The setting: the Okavango Delta region between 1991 and 1992 in African Botswana. This region combines plains and rivers on a wide scale, characterized by a diversity of wildlife that attracts all predators, especially lions, due to the abundance of prey. During those years, 10 lions lived there, later known as the Sons of Duba. However, they were not observed and documented together until after 1996 in the plains, also called Duba. Those lions ruled the entire area, and their deadly reputation spread beyond borders, striking fear into the hearts of any challenger who dared to enter their domain. This group of lions also carried a somewhat controversial history, as local safari guides were uncertain whether the coalition consisted of 6 or 8 lions. Others claimed that the story of the Duba Sons revolved around only 2 lions, though the coalition was initially much larger. The uncertainty about their numbers arose because sightings of 8 lions were recorded only twice by some who explored the delta together. It was said that 6 members were always seen patrolling in pairs. Meanwhile, a tourist who spent 3 consecutive years in Botswana believed there were 8 lions and speculated that 2 may have died prematurely at the hands of hunters, though their bodies were never found by local guides. The Sons of Duba ruled the plains of Botswana for several years, initially following the typical pattern of lion coalitions, overthrowing other males and conquering territories. But something changed, etching their name in African history after the Duba lions were gradually wiped out one by one, mainly due to frequent battles with rival males, some resulting in fatal injuries, in addition to their passion for hunting buffalo. This coalition hunted during the day when the sun was high, targeting all kinds of prey. Their encounters with massive buffalo were particularly intense. It's likely that some members of the coalition suffered severe injuries from the buffalo's sharp, powerful horns, as the beasts often fought fiercely to defend themselves. The 2 surviving lions gained experience with every battle, developing a strategic technique to enjoy their favorite pastime: hunting giant buffalo. They would wait for the herd to pass, identify the largest buffalo, then charge at it, attempting to isolate it from the group before beginning the dance of death. The so-called dance of death became famous. The 2 lions would exhaust the buffalo through repeated attacks, pretending to retreat, only to circle back from different angles. They would anticipate the buffalo's moves until the massive herbivore grew tired and lost balance. Once they sensed their prey's weakness, they launched their killing strike. The Duba lions became renowned not only for their hunting technique, but also for their highly theatrical behavior. They genuinely seemed to enjoy what they did, proudly displaying themselves to safari tourists eager to witness their majesty. One day, as safari vehicles passed nearby, one stopped to observe. Moments later, the 2 lions approached and lay down directly in front of the tires, blocking the vehicle from moving, as if demanding the guides and tourists to wait and watch them hunt. And indeed, the wait was worth it. However, by 2001, though they had aged and no longer sought new lands to conquer, nothing could stop them. They continued to defeat rival lions encroaching on their territory while still hunting buffalo. The Sons of Duba displayed astonishing skill in maintaining their hunting prowess, territorial dominance, and breeding success, fathering many cubs who carried their unique genetic strength. There was never any conflict among the Duba lions over power or females. They divided the lionesses equally, except for one that belonged only to the elder brother, his queen, with whom he spent countless hours and days. After returning from border patrols, he would go straight to his lioness. Their bond produced a strong cub named Skimmer, who inherited his father's powerful genes and majestic appearance with a royal personality. This cub eventually left the pride once he grew stronger to explore the region and sharpen his hunting and survival skills. But he later returned as human expansion left him with limited territory options, so he decided to settle with his father. As the Duba lions grew older, they did not risk driving out their offspring, as they could no longer manage the vast lands or patrol for long hours. The younger Duba brother even united two prides under his rule. Meanwhile, the elder brother chose to stay with his current pride alongside Skimmer. They tolerated the young lion, believing he wouldn't betray them. But they were wrong. In January 2008, Skimmer realized that his father's lionesses were strong and skilled hunters. Seeing an opportunity to lead them himself, the old Duba lion, then 17 years old, confronted Skimmer. The young, powerful lion didn't hesitate to engage in a deadly battle, with youth, energy, and strength on his side against an aging lion who could no longer endure such fights. Still, Skimmer lacked the courage to finish off his father. Instead, he severely wounded him and left him to succumb days later to a severe viral infection caused by the massive fight. One lioness, named Mita, was pregnant and about to give birth within days. She feared Skimmer would threaten her cubs' lives. After the death of the old Duba lion, she spent months distracting Skimmer from her presence until she finally gave birth. Once her cubs opened their eyes, she began her escape from the terrifying Skimmer. In 2009, she fled with her cubs to save the bloodline of the mighty Duba lions. As for the younger Duba lion, his fate might have been the same as his brother's, except for one detail. He continued hunting smaller buffalo and ventured into the herd in 2008. Around the same time, his brother met his end. In the end, the magnificent sons of Duba ruled together for around 11 or 12 years of their 17-year lifespan, an exceptionally rare achievement in lion history. The Duba lions fathered many cubs, seen by hundreds of people on safaris in Botswana, who praised their power and terrifying majesty. Their legacy lives on through countless photographs capturing one of the most fearsome and dominant lion coalitions in the Okavango.
In the depths of the wilderness, the journey of lion cubs begins, filled with challenges and dangers from the very first moment of their birth. With their first weak steps, they face real tests of their abilities and will to survive. They face the danger of hunger and cold, and attempts by other predators that see them as easy prey. Nevertheless, the cubs gradually grow stronger every day, under the care of their strong parents, paving the way for them to become one of the strongest and greatest creatures in the wild kingdom, under the unforgiving law of the jungle. At an early age, like all competitive lions, cubs are expelled from the pride when their parents sense the risk of competition for control. These young ones, ranging from 2 to 3 years old, begin a dangerous journey in a world ruled by other hungry and watchful beasts. The lone cubs find themselves alone, without protection, living under the constant threat of lurking danger and the hunger that gnaws at their small stomachs. They try with all their might to adapt to this new life, starting with learning how to hunt and survive on their own. Difficult experiences sharpen their skills and increase their strength and cunning, teaching them the value of patience and perseverance. Without the protection of the pride, the young cub must face challenges alone, including confronting other predators that pose a threat to its life. It evolves to become stronger and smarter, hoping to one day return to the pride, reclaiming its place among its former pride, always carrying the sense of safety and belonging it once felt, along with the pride that grew within it. Over time, the young wanderer's life fills with challenges that shape its path toward maturity and strength, turning it into an expert in the arts of survival, learning the best tactics and effective strategies for hunting and stealth. The lone wanderer travels distances in search of another partner to form its own alliance, as it is rare for a lion to survive alone. The search continues in the heart of the vast savanna, hoping to find a strong partner or be accepted into a pride of lionesses waiting for the opportunity to mate with the dominant lion. With time, the young lion transforms into a fierce and massive adult male, possessing great authority and influence within the lion community. Its muscles gain strength and mass, and its hunting skills and tactics in facing challenges grow, becoming its weapon for survival, expansion, and elimination of all potential competitors. This story resembles the tale of one of those lost and weak cubs, that cub named Olonkera, who grew up in 2021 in the Rongai Pride in the famous Masai Mara Reserve, when at some point 3 of the powerful Black Males Alliance controlled the Pride. Led by Lorcalup, Oloemina, and Olosiado, who left the Pride for unknown reasons, with some speculating that he might be Olonkera's father. The cub was cared for by his uncles at the beginning of his life, but misfortune always accompanied him, as he was often beaten and mistreated by the lionesses for unknown reasons. He was rescued and defended by Lorcalup multiple times. With his rapid and remarkable growth, under the lenses of photographers keen on capturing the best wildlife stories, the danger to Olonkera became imminent. He often stayed close to his uncles, who were keen on teaching him self-defense, as well as hunting and tactics. In a later stage, Olonkera showed his true strength, and of course, with his enormous growth, he was the first in the Pride's hunting operations, with his savage attacks on various large prey. He could be said to have hunted all kinds of prey, from the smallest to the largest. Unfortunately, this temporary calm did not last long, especially when Oloshipa returned in 2023, accompanied by his brother Olabor, the other 2 members of the Black Rock Alliance, who ruled the Magia Fisi Pride. Upon their arrival in 2023, the extremely violent Olabor, who earned the title the Madman deservedly, chased and beat Olonkera, who was surprised by the ferocity his uncle Olabor displayed when he was going to welcome him in the absence of his uncles. One possible reason could be Olonkera's massive size, which intimidated other lions vying for control. Olonkera didn't stray far, but stayed close to the Pride's borders, unafraid for his life, especially since he could hunt the largest prey alone. However, it would be better to find a partner who could later help him avenge his mad uncle. Olonkera, who became more aggressive, continued to frequent the place until he disappeared for a short period before reappearing even larger. Most followers of this strong young lion speculate that he will have his place and importance in the wild, especially if he reaches 5 years old, the age when a lion reaches its full physical capabilities. Everyone, without exception, awaits the coming days to discover what the terrifying Olonkera can do. As expected, he will relentlessly pursue Olabor, who forced him to leave the Pride, and will again penetrate the area alone or with another alliance to seek revenge.
In the heart of Kenya's Masai Mara Reserve, specifically at the Black Rocks, a legendary tale began for 9 lion cubs raised with pride by 3 lionesses. In September 2017, these little ones, 4 females and 5 males, were just tiny creatures no older than 6 weeks. But fate, as always, had a grand plan for them, an epic journey over 5 years that would shape them into true kings of the jungle. This is not just a story of hunting and survival, but a saga of power, struggle, and adaptation in a merciless world where every day is a new battle for survival. So join us on this thrilling journey to explore their coming world filled with challenges. Their childhood was full of play and joy, but it did not last long. In the harsh savanna, hunting does not come easily, and danger lurks in every corner. They had to learn how to fend for themselves and how to face relentless challenges. By the age of 2, the time had come for separation. Their mothers had given birth to new cubs, and there was no longer a place for these brave adolescents at the Black Rock's den. They became alone, hungry, constantly fighting over food, and the males were forcefully asserting dominance over their sisters. But one dark night, when hunger had reached its peak, the strongest of the males committed an unforgivable sin. He killed one of his sisters. This act led to the group's split and the dispersal of the females. The males were left in a dire situation, for they had relied heavily on the females for hunting. Afterward, in utter desperation, they tried to hunt slower prey, but could not keep up with the giants. They then resorted to stealing from seasoned lions, a grave mistake that nearly cost one of them his life. From that, they learned a harsh lesson and began searching for new opportunities. One day, a herd of buffalo stampeded, scaring off the hyenas and leaving behind a sick buffalo. The young lions seized the opportunity, no longer scavenging leftovers from hyenas, They went for the grand prize. It was a thrilling experience. They succeeded in claiming a hearty meal and learned a valuable lesson. Courage and perseverance are the keys to success. For the next 2 years, the 5 brothers roamed the Mara Reserve, sometimes alone, sometimes together. United, they were stronger and safer. By March 2021, they had grown into majestic adult lions, each with his own unique personality. The Maasai people gave them names reflecting their traits: Alumina, the limping one; Okado, the slow-witted; Lub, the latecomer; Orpadan, the hunter; and Olol, the sister killer, the ruthless leader. Together, these brothers began shaping their destiny, continuing to write their legend in the heart of the savanna. In the spring of 2021, the African plains witnessed an unprecedented event that amazed observers. 5 lionesses arrived with 8 small cubs, forming with the 5 brothers a massive coalition of 13 males. This unique group, forced to leave their original home, lived a nomadic life, avoiding territorial conflicts and constantly moving in search of prey. By May 2021, during the rainy season, the coalition faced a great challenge in finding food. The tall grass made spotting prey difficult. Even their attempt to bring down a strong buffalo failed, highlighting the difficulty of life under these conditions. Yet, the nomadic lions of the Black Rocks found in this season a golden opportunity to roam freely without competition, as other big cats preferred areas with shorter grass. With large prey scarce, the lions turned to warthogs as an emergency food source. Here, the lionesses displayed their skill, using their deep knowledge of these creatures to locate burrows. In one dramatic scene, a skilled lioness successfully caught a warthog with speed and precision, providing a meal for the entire pride. Still, a new challenge appeared. The powerful males, who had no offspring to protect, took the lion's share of the kill, while the lionesses received little in return for their hard work, a problem that threatened the coalition's stability in the long run. In a world of dwindling prey, the hungry cubs were forced to chase anything that moved, even if it meant venturing into dangerous, unfamiliar lands. Eventually, hunger and curiosity overcame their fear of crossing the Rengi River, which separated them from the territories of other herds. But the shock awaited them. Hunting was no better on the other side. One day, they spotted a lone hippopotamus that had failed to reach the safety of its pool. The hunting instincts of the brothers ignited, but this massive gray beast was no easy prey. It could turn the tables on them at any moment. While the lionesses retreated in doubt, the young males burned with excitement. The question was, how would they handle an opponent 6 times heavier than a lion? The hippo had to stay on its feet to survive. As time passed, its situation worsened. It left its small pool and moved toward the bushes, putting the lions in an exceptional position. Orpadan pounced, gripping the hippo with force and bringing it down. But the battle was not over. The mothers reluctantly joined in, realizing they had to exhaust the giant until it collapsed. The fight dragged on for hours. The hippo battled from one pool to another, trying to cool its massive body. The lions, though exhausted, took turns to maintain pressure. Who would give up first? After nearly 6 hours, the fight ended in a stalemate. The hippo survived, proving it was no easy prey, even in times of dire hunger. Wherever the lions looked, buffalo remained the only reliable source of food. With herds numbering up to 800 individuals, buffalo represented a grand feast. But hunting them was no simple task, not only because of their size, but also their powerful social solidarity. Unlike antelopes, buffalo supported one another, forming tight-knit family units. Yet, in every large herd, there were always stragglers. The lions spotted a lone female buffalo and tried to trap her in the tall grass. One lioness lunged, but the herd quickly intervened to save her. Everyone knew, you do not mess with an angry buffalo, not even Orpadan, the fierce one. The lions' efforts were wasted, forcing them to keep tracking the herd in hope of a better chance. Lions are strong but slow, relying on large prey. Buffalo, on the other hand, depend on strength and unity. The balance between predator and prey was clear. One day, fortune smiled. They found an old bull, weak and trailing behind. The lionesses set an easy trap. The youngest females attacked first, driven by hunger. Meanwhile, Orpadon and Olol secured the area. Eventually, the lionesses and their daughters brought the buffalo down. At last, there was enough food for everyone for days, no more need to fight over shares. Heavy rains brought despair, tightening hunger's grip on the lions. Forced to push into the muddy plains, their energy drained quickly. One night of desperate searching led them again to a massive buffalo herd. But even 13 strong lions could not penetrate its solid defenses. They had to find a weak spot, a small group of stragglers with calves, their only hope. Here, Olol, the reckless young male, revealed his uncontrollable bursts of rage. He rushed at a calf and caught it, but the defenders charged in. Forced to release it, Olol backed off. The calf, gravely wounded, would not survive. The lions knew time was on their side, yet the prey was too small to satisfy the entire group. By June, as the rainy season ended, the 5 brothers, including Olol, grew more confident. They began asserting dominance over an area previously controlled by 2 old scarred males. These elders, having lost their confidence in direct battle, withdrew, leaving the territory to the newcomers. But the true owners of this land were 3 adult lionesses and their adolescent offspring. They had fought to conquer and defend it. Now, with the brothers' arrival, the first attempts at mating and spreading new genes began. Alumina, the limping brother, struggled to keep up with his siblings and tried his luck with his half-sisters and aunts, but his attempts failed. A new problem arose. The 3 lionesses already had adolescent offspring, including a young male. Olol, viewing him as a potential rival, noticed him. The young male was terrified, but his mother defended him. Olol began displaying his power, aware that his hold on the territory was still fragile. The Rangi River soon became a battleground. The 3 lionesses drove away the lionesses that had arrived with the 5 brothers, forcing them to leave the valley forever. Now, Olol and his brothers firmly held control. Orur and Orpadon, the strongest of the brothers, patrolled far and wide, marking their presence everywhere. By mid-2021, they controlled nearly 100 square kilometers. One day, Olol strayed too deep into a neighboring pride's territory. It was too late to escape when he encountered the dominant males there. Frozen with fear, he had crossed the boundary. The strong males attacked him savagely, beating him until he nearly lost his life. He escaped barely alive, a near disaster for the young coalition. Challenges continued. The great wildebeest migration passed through their land, offering temporary relief from their reliance on buffalo. But when the herds moved on, the lions again faced their toughest rival, buffalo. At 4 years old, the 5 brothers patrolled their territory in the Mara. Alumina the limper, Okado the cautious, Lub the broken-nosed, Orpadon the hunter, and Olol the killer, the undisputed and reckless leader. The 5 controlled a region belonging to 3 lionesses who had seized it from others. The males only maintained dominance over the females and kept rival males at bay. By June, the first herds of zebras reached their land, a welcome alternative to dangerous buffalo. The nimble lionesses were the true hunters, sneaking within meters of an unsuspecting zebra and taking on the risky task. That same month came the Great Dance of Fire. Park rangers lit controlled fires across the grasslands, not for destruction, but for renewal. It was a bold gamble, as the regrowth of fresh grass depended on timely rains. If delayed, the plains would remain ashes, forcing all creatures, from herbivores to predators, into bitter hunger or territorial conflict. Even the serval, the skillful hunter, struggled to catch mice in such harsh dryness. Everyone waited, watching for rain, the only hope. Luckily, the rains came. The scorched earth turned into a lush green carpet, bringing life back. For the serval family, the long grass offered safety for their young and plentiful hunting grounds. Meanwhile, the 5 brothers ruled a barren territory. They did not mind the drought, busy strengthening bonds with 3 lionesses they had claimed along with the land. Olol, recovering from his earlier attack, showed little interest in mating, leaving the lionesses to his brothers. He roamed with Orpadan, marking their scent to deter intruders. By July 2021, 4 of their adolescent siblings still lived nearby, avoiding their older brothers and surviving on smaller hunts. By late July, the long-awaited dust columns appeared. The Great Migration had arrived. Hundreds of thousands of animals surged into the Mara, an awe-inspiring sight, though their numbers continued to decline, worrying conservationists. This migration is the lifeline of the ecosystem and sustains the vast tourism industry. But climate change and human population growth now threaten this delicate balance. Lions prefer to hunt in tall grass where they can hide, but wildebeests are not easy prey. They are fast and skilled in dealing with lions. The northern Serengeti, with its rivers and streams, provides dangerous terrain for herbivores, but it is a safe haven for big cats. Stay with us to discover more about the exciting and unique journey of these 5 lions, which hides more surprises. Hyenas have long been considered the greatest threat in Africa due to their harsh hunting and killing methods. They chase their prey until exhaustion. But Lob, the broken-nosed lion, aware of this danger, seizes the opportunity to take his prize and steal it from the jaws of the savage hyenas. During these weeks, the 5 brothers killed only a small portion of their food, while they mastered the art of stealing to secure the rest of their meals. Even though the wildebeest migration brought them incredible abundance, it allowed the lions to regain their strength. In a strange scene, a male Kori bustard, the largest bird in Africa, appears among the vultures gathered around a carcass. Its raised feathers indicate readiness for mating, while a marabou stork stands before it as a potential rival. It is a comical scene, but the bustard does not retreat. Meanwhile, the 5 lions enjoy an easy life, stealing anything they like. Even black-backed jackals live by theft. Elsewhere, Illumina, the limping lion, demands the privileges of the dominant male, but the lioness does not respond to him and tries to push him away. Meanwhile, 2 kilometers away, 3 other hungry cubs hide. Illumina prevents the lioness from going to them, exploiting a rare hormonal disorder that made her ready to mate again. It is an unexpected opportunity for him, even though the lioness just wants to return to her cubs. She moves away while Illumina follows her, as she seeks an opportunity to escape and hide with her cubs. In this place, motherhood becomes extremely difficult. Her hormones are disturbed, swinging between affection and harsh rejection, while the lives of the cubs hang by a thread. In September, unexpected rains fall in the northern Serengeti, threatening the lives of the small cubs. Fortunately, the mother's hormone levels stabilize and she can care for her cubs. Illumina did not disturb her for 3 days, but his obsessive behavior cost one of the cubs its life. Only 2 remain alive, and they must survive any further hormonal fluctuations. Meanwhile, the scorched plains turn into bright greenery and herbivores enjoy the abundance. But soon, the Great Migration will return to the southern Serengeti, and the deadly struggle for power between lions and buffalo will begin again. The lioness, harassed by Illumina, now lives in peace, and the cubs of the brothers are fine. So, the lioness preferred to stay away from the fathers, who watch and wait, their curiosity growing day by day. Olor cautiously approaches the bush where his first cubs hide. The lioness swings between seeking contact and showing aggression. The kings of the pride appear submissive, uncertain about how to communicate with their new family. The lioness moves to another place, leaving Olor to reassert his territorial rights. And where the stream is more than just a hiding place, the lioness uses her years of experience and sneaks to her spot without attracting the pride's attention. Okado watches the lioness cautiously and lets her eat one of the prey she hunted alone. Soon, the land will belong to the locals. By late September, the wildebeests will leave the Masai Mara for the rich southern Serengeti plains, and when they cross the Mara River, the balance of power will shift. Now the lions will face their most terrifying opponent. The brothers must prove they have what it takes to maintain the territory year-round as tensions rise among them. In May 2022, Okavango mysteriously disappeared, leaving his four brothers puzzled, forming a relatively stable pride with 3 lionesses and their young daughters. The long rains brought enormous challenges. With most of the usual prey absent, buffalo returned to the forefront as the only hope for the hungry pride. But hunting buffalo is no easy task. These massive creatures never abandon one another, showing incredible solidarity in the face of danger. Failed hunting attempts continue, and the lionesses show rare courage in facing the angry buffalo herds, while the older males, including Alumina and Lob, flee from the confrontation. Meanwhile, their sisters leave the pride, now sexually mature and searching for mates. They leave to face an uncertain future, as their chance of seizing new territory without the support of female relatives is slim. Young lionesses often become nomads without shelter, relying mainly on hunting calves. In the Mara Reserve, despite its vast area, the 4 brothers need every inch of it during the rainy season, as buffalo herds move constantly. Alumina and Lob prefer to stay near the females, while Orbadan and Olor take responsibility for protecting the vast territory after Okavango's disappearance. It is a dangerous mission. Every day they face new challenges, and battles with intruders could lead to heavy losses. In May 2022, Orbadan suffered a severe injury in a huge fight with a rival lion, surviving miraculously thanks to the intervention of a veterinarian. Orbadan and Olor showed no slack in protecting their territory, but such sudden battles could shorten their lives. A few days later, Orbadan and Olor returned to the pride, where the lionesses had brought down a new buffalo. Alumina once again tries to approach a lioness, while Orbadan and Olor claim the larger share of the prey. Olor grows more aggressive, and Alumina's attempts to keep the lioness for himself explode into intense anger. Discovering that he has become a marginal figure in the pride, his loud roar seems to be his only contribution to defending the territory. Meanwhile, the half-brothers and younger lions remain useful in the buffalo plains. They become expert calf hunters, but are no longer satisfied with these small shares. They begin chasing an adult cow, ignoring its calf, showing exceptional hunting skill. This marks a true advance, as such a kill could feed them for a week, without the danger of cows fiercely protecting their calves. That night, the older brothers join the feast and eat most of the buffalo. After this valuable hunt, the younger brothers become important hunters for the pride, and their presence is especially welcome while Orbadan recovers from his wounds. Although it is unusual for older male lions to accept their younger brothers, this relationship works well in this unique pride. One day, these younger lions will have to leave, but for now, they strengthened the concept of brotherhood at a critical time and helped their older brothers maintain the Rangi River territory in the Masai Mara for longer. One day, deep in the valley, the younger lions fought over prey. One was an injured cub who showed weakness, withdrew from the younger pride brothers, and left the pride. The 4 brothers, who no longer wanted him in their pride, tracked him down. The young lion sustained severe injuries while attacking buffalo. The young lionesses made sure not to be dragged into the fight. Alumina allowed his stronger brother to discipline the adolescent. The balance of power was clear. No lioness intervened to defend him. The time of this young lion with the pride at the Rangi River was over, and he had to leave. In contrast, the other 4 two-year-old younger brothers kept a safe distance from their older brothers, while the 2 younger sisters might soon leave the pride as well. They left the valley in turn, but remained for a time to strengthen their buffalo hunting experience. The bulls' behavior grows increasingly strange. They rub against bushes, roll in the grass for hours, spread their scent, and display their massive bodies to impress rivals. Their head-butting is the fiercest confrontation, as older bulls fight for dominance. The hierarchy among the bulls was established long ago, but the weaker ones never miss a chance to sneak in. Cows are almost crushed by the noisy, violent males. To escape their suitors, all they can do is search for the dominant bulls. A high-ranking bull pushes aside competitors, yet the exhausted cow finds little relief. The leader must intervene several times to impose some respect, and he does not do it gently. If things get difficult and exhausting, the cow lies down to give the bulls time to calm down. This chaos can last for hours, as some competitors try to improve their rank at the last minute. But to rise in hierarchy, one must participate in hundreds of these battles over years. Once again, the older bull brings the fiery youth back to his senses. This does not necessarily help the weak female, as the ambitious do not surrender. In the savanna, survival is always for the strongest and smartest, and there is no difference between predator and prey in proving strength and resilience in this death-filled society.